John Ochapinti here.
It's AL.
NEPA Scene's own Carson Daly.
Filkowski. Yeah, Filkowski.
Yeah. And tonight, we're here with Eyal Filkowski. Got that?
Yes.
Nailed it.
What's up, man? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Hello.
You.
Welcome to Beyond the Break podcast. My name is AL. I'm your host, and this guy over here is my co-host. His name is
Johnny TikTokapinny.
TikTokapinny. Oh my Lord. How are you, man?
Doing good. I actually have 2 DVDs that our guest gave me like a year ago. Baptized in Blood, XPW.
Let me full screen you.
Jerry the King Lawler right there. And then what do we got here? Death Matches. I gotta check that one out tonight, and then I could give him back to Ray.
Nice.
I was at his house, and he's like showing me his collection. And he was showing me the wrestling stuff. I was like, oh, I remember my friend showed me all that stuff. It used to give me anxiety. He's like, do you want to borrow too? I'm like, no. He's like, you should. I'm like, okay.
Well,
I had nightmares last night watching it.
No, I'm sure. You're you. So anyway, our guest, Ray, that you're talking about, obviously loves wrestling, WWE, all that stuff. But to me, more importantly, because I'm not really into all that, to me, more importantly, Ray Meoni, he's a multi-talented entertainment professional with over 10 years of experience in the music and comedy industry. He currently writes music reviews for 570 Press, which actually earned him an award last year in 2022 for Music Reviewer of the Year by the Electric City Music Conference, the ECMCs. I was actually there for that. I saw him get that. That was really cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, good job.
And that was after just 1 year, and that's like, whoa. Boom.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you got it, you got it, and Ray's got it. So, on top of that, obviously he does all that, but he's got a fairly new, I think, a very adventure that he's doing. He's got a booking company called Diavolo Booking. Diavolo Booking. So that's really cool. So we'll be definitely talking to him about that. Ray's also done other things, like he helps put on events such as the Punk Rock Flea Market and Lady Fest. Yeah, both co-organized with Jess Meoni.
Do they know each other?
I don't know. I don't think so. Probably not. He was also recently approved. Now this is big. Everything is big, but this is really cool. So he was recently approved to receive a grant from Lackawanna Arts and Culture Department. Sorry, which he's going to use to produce a music festival in 2023. This year. So I'm really, really excited to hear more about that. Ray himself is also a musician, and he's working on a project called, I'm assuming it's Noskaratu. I assume is how you pronounce it. Noskaratu. It's a Scranton-based horror ska punk band right up my alley. So hopefully we'll be seeing him playing along with One Revived and the Whiskey Bats and who else? They used to be called Cut Up Naked Teenagers, but they changed it to, it's on the tip of my tongue. I know this. Elvis. What are they called? Vampire. Something vampires. Vampire killers with teenage vampire murder killers. No. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Somebody's going to send me a message and be like, "Look, you dumbass, they're called." In the meantime, all the damn vampires. Yes, Meoni, that has no idea who Ray is. They've never.
That's
met.
So crazy that she came on to
all the damn vampires. Thank you. That was like on the tip of my tongue. You ever have that happen? It's like you know the word, but you're just like you can't say it, can't spit it out. So as you know, we play 2 songs every show, and this time we've got a video that nobody has seen, including the band themselves, Running in Flip Flops. So this is, first of all, Dane, are you out there? Dane, are you out there? Give me a thumbs up. I'm waiting for Robin to say thumbs up because he wants to check this out. This one is called Doobie. It's by Running in Flip Flops. And did I make it? Oh, Melissa is asking if I made it. So partly we made it as a team. We had Encore Studios out there. They recorded all the audio, so every microphone had its own track that it was recorded on. Then I mixed it and mastered it. I did the video edit, but then we had Kyle from our team and Brian David from our team as well. They were the ones shooting it, so it's like really everyone was involved. So yep. All right, girl number 3. Oh, I assume that's is Robin. Give me a thumbs up if that's who I think it is. Oh, this is Dane. Okay, all right, got it. Okay, so without further ado, Flip Flops, Doobie.
We got all kinds of songs prepared for you guys tonight. Some happy, some sad, all extremely weird.
Sometimes I'm in my room and I do absolutely nothing. Other times I have something to do. Sometimes I'm in my kitchen, I eat absolutely something. It isn't usually something good for you. And other times I lie in bed and try to fall asleep. Other times I'm trying not to scream. But it's too big to be like that sometimes. We just gotta accept it. Sometimes I buy my clothes down at the corner store. Couple times I've been a quarter short, but they let me go. You know it's Scooby to be like that sometimes. You gotta eat your lemon flavored snack. Oh, it's Scooby to be like that sometimes. I won't lure myself into a heart attack. Sometimes the demons in the walls are clawing at my eyes. Other times I know he's got my back. Cause sometimes I feel like I'm the only one around. But I know I'm not when I can hear his voice. You know it's to be like that sometimes. You gotta eat your lemon flavored snack. Oh, it's too big to be like that sometimes. I won't lure myself into a heart attack. No, it's too big to be Scooby, to be Scooby, to be like that sometimes.
It sure do like that sometimes. That was Running in Flip Flops.
It do be.
They were the season 3 finalists. And, we haven't mentioned any of the bands that are competing this season, but I will mention one simply because it's always cool to see bands come back to participate again. So Running in Flip Flops, they are back for season 3. So cool. I'm glad you like it, dude. I'll be posting that on our channel either tonight or tomorrow. So I'll let you know about that so you can share that. Ray, buddy, how are you, man? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What's up, Ray?
Hello.
Yeah. So we had a little bit of an intro on you. I think you probably heard it. Did I pronounce your band correctly?
Yeah, Noskaratu.
Is that like
It's like a play on words.
play off of Nosferatu?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. So all right, man. So you're here in northeastern Pennsylvania. And are you from here originally, like born, raised? And
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, come on, it can't be that bad. There's worse places, believe me.
Nice.
Believe me.
Burn.
I've been to worse places when I did stand up. So
actually let's start there. Stand up. How long have you been doing stand up for?
So I started probably when I was like about 18, and then I just kind of did it off and on at that time just because I couldn't do anything because most of the open mics were in like bars and stuff and couldn't get in there. So then I picked it back up around when I was 21 when I could go back in. Done a lot of shows. And one of them, I went out to West Virginia, which was awesome night out there. That show actually sold out, and then there was like just nothing to do in West Virginia when we got there, which was crazy. Like I know like a lot of people around this area says there's nothing to do here. There they had one bar on like this entire strip. I think the only coolest thing about that area was that down the road from this venue was the penitentiary that Charles Manson stayed at.
Whoa.
So
Nice.
I was like,
Nice.
I wanted to go up to them and just say, can you take me to the Charles Manson suite? Thank you. But yeah, I was like surprised because even when I was like asking everybody there, I'm like, is there like even just like a bowling alley or something? And they had nothing. Like the closest thing to do something was like in Ohio.
Well, we've got something to tell people who say there's nothing to do around here.
Just go to West Virginia.
No, stick around in this show, and we'll be showing you 19 original bands shows in NEPA over the next week. So stick around and we'll play that later. But yeah, so what kind of comedy would you say that and do you still go out and do stand up?
I don't do it a lot. Like the only time that I'll do it is if somebody wants to have me do a show, and if I'm not doing anything is when I'll just basically do it. Now I'm not more so interested in doing stand up as much as booking shows for bands in the area. Even like touring bands and stuff. I'm more interested in doing that at this point. But it's really hard to like pinpoint on like where my stand up falls. Like really, it's like for me, I just kind of talk about stories that's happened to me, and then like a lot of like my jokes are kind of like nerdy things. Like I talk about like Mario being a cuck and shit like that.
I remember that
one. It's different, stuff like that I'm just, whatever. Right. So I'm not everybody's comedian, but
right.
If I get into a room,
would you say alternative? Maybe I feel like you could definitely like have some alternative, like. Because I've seen you a few times.
Yeah, I mean, like I guess you could say like it's alternative. Like it's not like it's weird to explain it because like I feel like my stand up is like there's no one to compare it to basically. Like
yeah,
I know a lot of my jokes are gross too, so it's like like somebody explained it that my stand-up will go from like 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds of just being raunchy. Like I'll just like immediately just go into it because I just don't care.
Right.
And I think that has like a lot to do with, with a lot of my jokes being really funny is I just don't give a shit if
Right.
like you're gonna laugh at this or not because I think it's funny.
Gotcha. So what made you transition, make the move from, taking comedy and kind of putting it aside, and now you're doing this booking, Diavolo Booking, and it's, I book as well, and it's sometimes it's like herding cats. So like what was your mindset, like what made the change?
So I wasn't doing stand up for a while. I think once COVID hit, I was kind of overdoing stand up, and that kind of took into where I started doing music reviews for a lot of bands for 570 Press. And then just after doing that for so long, I want to say last year, actually around this time last year, I had a promoter reach out to me asking me to book a show. It was Fall 50 Feet and Promise Breaker doing a tour. Now I knew all the guys from Fall 50 Feet when I did my show out in West Virginia. And so I thought it was just kind of like a thing where
like a one-off, like
they were like doing like a
hey,
callback
these guys, can you reach out to them type of thing? Yeah.
Which I thought it was, but apparently that wasn't the case. Like they didn't know I was actually booking the show at all. And until after the show was booked and everything, they didn't know it was actually me who booked it. And this promoter that reached out to me, I ended up asking him how he found out about me. And apparently somebody reached out to me from like a DIY tour posting group. And that's how my name kind of floated around there. So I booked the show. And at this point, it was at Room 221 on the Dixon City Carbon Expressway.
The old Keystone stage before they moved. Right.
Which, that room I liked the location of because there was just a parking lot for me. And I know like a lot of people who go to like a lot of venues, like a parking lot is like the best place to have like a venue.
Yeah.
Because then there's no street parking. But that show did very well. And then at that point, after that happened, I had like some of my other friends from like Pittsburgh, Wind Chimes, they asked me to book a show in this area. And then that's kind of how I started booking shows at Keystone Stage. That was the first show that I booked at Keystone Stage. And ever since then, since that show did very well, they ended up asking me to book a lot of like punk hardcore shows, even the metal shows that I do there now. Around that time, that's when I started booking there after that.
Now, is that your like go-to music? Is that what Ray likes to listen to in his car on his way to work?
If you were talking to like me when I was like 17, 18 years old, yes, that's all I actually just listened to. I was just listening to Cannibal Corpse, anything like heavy that had like breakdowns and whatnot. That's all I would listen to. And now it's like I'll listen to like just everything. Like I'll listen to mainly now I listen to ska. Ska I think is probably like my top music genre.
Oh, yeah.
And then it kind of just trickles down to like pretty much everything I listen to at this point.
And then like maybe throwing in like a Michael Bublé.
Oh yeah, you have to. He's in my playlist.
Yeah.
Nice. So what kind of so tell me a little bit about your journey over the last year. You're doing a lot of new things. What kind of trials and tribulations have you come across where you're like, well, this was a lesson learned and I wish I would have done this different, or anything like that somebody else, whether it be here or whether we've got people listening from Colorado and stuff too, so like what kind of advice could you give somebody that's starting out?
Don't book. Like it's a nightmare that I didn't see coming in a way. Like it's really rewarding at times, but like from all the promotion that you have to put in basically in making sure that the show is going to do well. There's a lot of stress that's involved with like behind the scenes a lot. And that's like, I feel like one thing that nobody really talks about is when you are booking, like shows throughout the year, you don't know if one's going to do well and the other won't. It's just, I think a promotion has a lot to do with it. And there's like been times where I've been to a lot of great shows that I haven't booked just in general, like some shows at Carl Hall, and I've just seen them flop. And when I see that, I just kind of think about it as who promoted the show, how was it promoted,
So
and
so when you see something like that, what kind of thoughts pop in your head, like as far as why this show flopped? Where do you think the promoter may have missed a step or hasn't, didn't put as much focus on one thing as opposed to another?
I don't think it's always the promoter. Sometimes shows will just happen to do that.
Right.
I mean, it depends on like the bands that you book too, how good of a draw that they have around the area, who's going to come out. But I mean, for the most part, it's not always on the promoter. Why the show flops. Sometimes people just, don't want to come out that day. It just, whatever it may be, like something may have came up, things like that. So it's definitely a gamble. I would say like definitely booking the type of shows that I book is a gamble over anything else.
Well, there's quite a large, like, at least I think so, like a hardcore music community here in NEPA. Would you agree?
It's coming back.
Yeah.
That's the great thing is, I know for like a long period of time there was nothing. Like around like 2012 to 2015, that was a great era. Just so many great bands coming out, and there was just always packed shows around this area. And then after, like, a lot of venues just ended up closing down. I know once like the Vintage closed down and other venues like that, just
do we have
shows
any
didn't
idea
happen.
why that happened at that time? It seems like they all just kind of went around like one after the other, right?
Yeah, it's just it's hard because a lot of times it's people got to pay rent, and sometimes
Right.
it doesn't work out. And
I was at the last show at the Vintage. Oh, the
Nice.
Keys. I actually met Ray at the Keys.
Yeah.
Weren't you hosting the open mic?
Was I open? Yeah, maybe I was hosting the open mic at
That was
that
one of
point.
the first open mics I did, was the Keys.
It was
I
either
remember being 15 years old with my Liberty Spike Mohawk hanging out outside of Metro. Remember Metro?
Metro. I went to one show at Metro.
Well,
and it was like
it's a lot more than a lot of other people can say, unfortunately.
Vintage was
Vintage.
running a flip-off's first gig.
Which Vintage was it though? Was it the one that was on where the German building was? Was it the one that was on Penn Ave or Adams Ave, something like that?
I've been to the one on Spruce, right? Isn't that Spruce?
Is that the one with the German building?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the third Vintage.
My first show that I went to was in like 98 or 97 or 96, maybe. I don't know. No, probably like 97 or 98. And it was at the Staircase, and it was the Deftones.
Oh, see, that's awesome. See,
I was conceived at a
little old 15-year-old me, didn't know, first show, I didn't know. So got there before a lot of other people did, and I went right up front. Nobody told me about the Rush. I was a scrawny little kid too, man. So like Deftones came on, and like the whole crowd just was crushed. It took me like 3 songs to squeeze my way out of there. But
see, I love those types of shows. Like, there's so much energy in those shows, and
right. Well, one thing when
like,
you expect it, but man, when it's your first show, you're 15, you have no idea, not a clue.
You had like a sippy cup, like. Oh. I was conceived at a Celine Dion concert.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
More than I want to know.
Yeah, I don't. There's got to be something here.
Ray, didn't you work? You didn't. I don't know if you worked with him, but you've met Seth Rogen. Like, kind of, he saw you perform, right?
Yeah, I was at an open mic in California.
And you got to talk to him a little bit after that. Didn't you go to lunch with him?
Huh?
Didn't you go to lunch with him?
No.
No.
I wanted to, but no, it was like kind of like a super quick thing.
Yeah.
Although I wonder what lunch with Seth Rogen would be like.
Probably a whole lot of weed.
Mostly weed, and then
weed with a little sprinkle of weed on top of the edibles or something. I don't know. Probably.
No, he always has great like breakfast scenes. He does have really good like lunch breakfast dialogue scenes where he's just like, "Well, I don't know what to do with my life."
Well, I think you've already won, Seth Rogen. You've already won. You don't have to do anything else with your life.
Yeah,
you win. So
except
so as far as the booking goes and working with bands, what do you think like the number one mistake bands make? Like if you could just put like a blanket statement over, this is what I feel like bands really screw up on royally, and I wish they would stop doing this.
From what I've dealt with already, I haven't really dealt with any like really bands that kind of like screwed up anything on me anyways. So I wouldn't really even know how to answer that honestly, because all the shows that I kind of book, just run really smooth.
Yeah, I'd say my biggest thing that I see bands really like shooting themselves in the foot on is not having any contact info on any of their socials, and on top of that, while not having any contact info, they don't check their messages like on Facebook pages and stuff. So it's like if you don't know one of them personally, you're not going to be able to book them.
Yeah,
so how many bookings are bands potentially missing out on because they're making themselves unreachable? So that's that would be my number one thing, just from like searching for bands and reaching out to bands and stuff.
Well, when I was doing reviews, that's like one of the things that kind of irritated me when I was like, okay, well, this band wants a review, and the information that was given to me, there's just like no information on this band at all. Like there's just what basic information is like, what state are they from? Because I can at least go off on a state.
Right. Yeah, a lot of them don't even do that. It's like, I don't know what state you're in. I'm not even going to reach out to you because, if you're not nearby, there's
you never know. And well, when I was doing reviews, like I always joked about, I'm like, I'm going to just start doing the whole Courage the Cowardly Dog intro where he's like in a town in nowhere, in the middle of nowhere, because like I don't know where this band is from.
Yeah.
But I honestly, if it's anything like that, to answer that question, I guess that's like one of the things that kind of irritate me. It's like if I don't know where a band is from, then it's like, well, how am I gonna like know if you're like this close or wherever? Because I don't know if you're like 3 hours or 2 hours away, or
you could be in Florida, you could be in like
for real,
man, who knows? Yeah. Okay. What about bands promoting their own shows?
That's
absolutely big. Absolutely.
That should be the number one thing. That
I mean, if you're not promoting your own shows, that's kind of lame. Yeah,
and it's
everybody to do everything for you, man. Come on.
And then they wonder why like no one shows up to their shows, and I'm like, well, you
didn't tell anybody about
the night of the show.
I mean, like we've got our own certain reach. You've got your own certain reach. So everybody's got to work together and try to get as much reach as possible. Sure, there'll be overlap, but to me, I think overlap is actually better because now
way better.
We're seeing it from 1, 2, 3, 4 different people, and they're like, "Oh, well,
it's like that gaming place.
Oh, where that was everywhere. It was on TV.
It's still up.
Every single channel.
It's still up. You might not have seen it, AL. There's this on Main Ave in Greenridge. There's this like Nook beat down store. It was called That Gaming Place, and their ad was the best. It's gone, I think, but it was just like
you could probably find it on YouTube. That's definitely on YouTube.
I hit up the guy that owns it. He's like, I think that's gone. I don't know. I was like, damn.
That place that was on Main Ave smelled like cat piss.
That gaming place?
It just smelled. So like they moved from that place to Washington Ave in downtown, but like that one store on Main Ave just smelled like cat piss the entire time.
It's still up. It still says That Gaming Place.
I'm sure it still smells like cat piss.
Probably all the cat piss holding everything together still got all like hardened around it.
I don't know because I never saw any cats in there, so I don't know how it always smelled like cat piss, but it just always did.
Is there a Chinese food place like down the street?
No. There's
that's usually where the cats end up. Right on. So if somebody wants to contact you to either a band or a promoter, or how can they get a hold of you?
I mean, if you're friends with me on Facebook, just send me a message. I usually reply really quick because I just have severe anxiety, and I can't just let the message go. So I'm the same way on my page as well. So if you just want to message the Diavolo page, that's fine too. I'm probably gonna just see the message and then like immediately just get back to you because I hate not getting back to people.
Yeah, I hate playing that game too, where you're like, should I wait 10 minutes? Like, just, no, we all are on our phones forever.
So I've got the spelling for Diavolo Booking right there on the bottom of the screen for anyone there. Go ahead, give the page a like, do all that fun stuff. So you also you do some writing. You still doing that? Yeah. The reviews.
Yeah. I still do them.
Now, how does that work? Do you just like pick somebody to review, or just somebody contact you and say, "Hey, can you do a review on this?" Or
so what happens is they'll email the 570 Press page or either our email, and then basically Alana will just start sending reviews to my way, and then whatever they want reviewed, I'll just listen to it and just say whatever.
And Alana's great, so just shout out to Alana.
Yeah, Alana, come on the show.
570 Press. Make sure you check them out too. I've been a guest on that on the 570 Press podcast.
She's awesome.
Yeah, me too. I was on there. It was zany as it can be. She let me be like ridiculous.
Yeah, she's cool. She's good people. And you do get ridiculous. So
I get. You know what I get? Ridiculous.
Okay.
As ridiculous as this guy.
I just want to see you live stream that entire thing of you just watching it.
Literally,
I just want a reaction video.
Ooh, a reaction video. You should do that, Johnny. Just not here, and not right now. So you also work with Jess, with on the punk rock flea market. Any relation there?
I've never met her in my life. Actually.
You never met her, really? Oh
wow, that's pretty cool to work with people that you've never met.
No,
so for people out there that have never heard of the punk rock flea market and Lady Fest, can you briefly tell us what it is and when the next one is?
So the next punk rock flea market, now what Jess does is like shout out to Jess for literally doing almost every flyer for me because I'm terrible. But when she just kind of like dragged me along to all of her events, and that's kind of how I started helping her. when Lady Fest happened, I just kind of like set up tables and chairs and basically for the vendors on everything. So Lady Fest, when she did that, that was more when she was doing zines, almost like a zine fest. But was more towards women artists in the area, and so I helped out with a couple fest that she did with that, and then that slowly turned into the Scranton Punk Rock Flea Market, from my understanding. And then same thing there. I would just help her out with the vendors, setting up and everything. And now it's like so big now. Now that it's tied in with the NEPA Horror Film Fest, so now I just pretty much help out with everything.
Nice.
But the next one is on June 17th.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I have to make sure to get out there.
Always a
Is that going to be at the Circle again? The Circle Drive-In?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this year it's going to be. So they always do the flea market in the beginning, starts at noon, and then the movies will start at dusk. This year's really cool because they have Bill Moseley from Texas Chainsaw 2, Devil's Rejects. So that's going to be awesome. And I don't remember which movies they're showing. I think they're showing Texas Chainsaw.
Hell yeah.
Could be wrong.
I had the pleasure of meeting Dan Yeager, who played Leatherface in the 2013, the 3D one, whatever the 3D one was.
Dick.
Huh?
I heard he was a dick when he was at the Circle.
No comment. I thought he was a nice guy as far as like meeting and talking to him, but he was very difficult to work with. So,
oh no.
I think it's one of those things. This isn't Hollywood. This is northeastern Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? So you want Hollywood treatment, go to Hollywood. That's
no. You get potholes and Maroni's pizza here. That's
yeah.
it.
You get it.
No other pizza. It's just Maroni's.
Dozies, heat it up if you need to.
So you got all your vendors all straight then? Like, are you still looking for vendors? Are you still, or you have everyone you need for the punk rock?
I think Jess is still accepting applications until March 1st. The best place to check is the Scranton Punk Collective. I believe that's what it is.
Okay. Jess, if you're watching and you have an email address or anything you want to share, we'll pop that up here as well for anybody that's interested. Okay. So you got this other awesome thing going on, and I really want to hear more about this, because I think when the local government gets involved and shows support to the arts, I think it's like a beautiful thing, because I feel like a lot of times the arts and government are bumping heads. So it's really nice to see things come together. So what's going on with the Lackawanna Arts and Culture Department and your grant and the festival? Like, how did all that happen? Like, tell us about that.
So I basically found out about the Lackawanna Culture Arts grant when Jess mentioned it to me, and so I'll do that. Now it's going to be like a yearly festival, Scala Days. So I wanted to put it on, and I wanted to bring in some bigger acts. So with that, I reached out, tried to go for the grant, and then I was recently awarded for it. So that ceremony is going to be on the 28th of this month. So
oh wow. Well, congratulations, man. That's a huge deal. Really, like, good for you. And it's good for the area. And it's, like I said, it gives, to me anyway, it shines like a really nice light on Lackawanna, local government for doing that. So that's cool. And that's when is that festival going to be then?
I'm not sure yet, but I am announcing a save the date thing, hopefully by next month.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah. So do you know where you're gonna hold it? Do you know what venue? Can we have a hint?
Still in the air. Like next month we'll have all the information.
Okay. Well, speaking of venues, I've got 2 questions for you. The first question is, what's your favorite venue to go see a show in the local area? And the follow-up question is, what is your favorite venue to work with, to book in the local area?
So to work with right now, it is Keystone Stage. They definitely help me out as much as they can with a lot of things. So it made when I first started booking shows really easy in the beginning, especially with getting all these local bands that just wanted to play like all ages shows, because that was like the big thing for me, is that I wanted every show that I did all ages, because in this area there's really no all age place that you can really book at,
Right.
unless it's like fire hall or
Right.
anything when I was growing up. So venue wise, working with Keystone, venue to go to in the local area, I've seen a lot of great shows at Keystone, and then I've seen a lot of great shows at the V Spot.
Right.
And I really like the V Spot a lot too. A lot of people there, same way. They're great people there too. Shout out to Vinny and everybody there. So it's really hard to pretty much say what my favorite venue in this area is, just because I go to so many shows in the area, and both really, is something I like to support both of.
Do you go out to shows a lot, aside from the ones that you book? Aside from those.
That's like the one thing, is like I'll support all my friends. It doesn't matter if they want to do a show for me or not. I will make it a point to go out to their shows, and just to support everybody around.
Yeah, nice. So and you also play an instrument. You're a musician, yes?
I do vocals in Noskaratu.
Okay, all right. And how long has that project been going on?
So we've been working at it about roughly 2 months ish.
Okay, so fairly new still. Okay, cool. How many members you got?
We got 5 members.
5 members. You do like ska.
I just want 17.
You need 3 more.
No, I need 17 members in this entire band. I need a whole one horn section.
I love horns, man.
Keyboard section. I need everything.
Nice. So you guys are practicing out of somebody's house, or one of your houses?
Yep. We practice at my house. It's great.
Legendary house.
It's a great house. I don't know.
House.
I liked your house more when I was at your house a few times.
R.I.P.
I did stand up at your house.
You did do stand up at my
We
house,
had that whole stand up show at your house.
And Bobby and Angelica,
yeah.
That was a good show too.
You got any more stand up planned on your schedule?
As of right now, no.
No.
That can also
what about
change.
a podcast? Do you have a podcast going?
I want to do a podcast.
Why not? The Meoni's podcast?
Yeah, me and Jess should
Jess,
do a podcast.
she wants to do it. I don't know. She'll be comfortable since she's never met.
Jess wants to do a podcast. I know that. So
Jeff would be great on a podcast.
Oh yeah.
He's fit for a podcast because he likes to wear flip-flops all the time. So it's like, what's the best job you could do potentially in flip-flops?
Well, it's not running.
Not running. Definitely not running.
You know what running in flip-flops said on stage that night that I thought was hilarious? I think
none of them were wearing flip-flops. I will say I was upset.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. But definitely anyway, no, he said something along the lines of they were gonna call themselves walking in socks. And I thought that was hilarious.
I mean yeah. That's relevant though.
Probably safer than running in flip-flops.
I don't know. Like on my floor in my apartment, socks. I have to wear slides because it grips. If I'm walking around in socks, I'm slipping everywhere.
Oh, you just gotta get those socks that they give you in the nut house.
Yeah, that's what I said the one
Grippy
night
socks.
at the V spot.
Yep, they got the little grippies
best,
on the bottom.
The best benefit of going to the insane asylum is that you get free trampoline socks.
Yes, that's the best benefit.
Trampoline socks.
So cool. We've got some stuff going on here. Earlier in the beginning of the show, I was saying that we were talking about people that say that there's nothing to do around here.
Oh yeah.
And I call bullshit.
Do you have you have something?
Do I have something? I mean, I got something. What do I have, Johnny?
Do you have a list of 19 shows, all original, going on in Northeastern PA?
Oh my God, Johnny. Yes, I do.
Oh my God.
Hi, it's Robin with this week's original shows in northeastern Pennsylvania. On Friday the 24th at the V-Spot in Scranton is Brutality's fundraiser show with sets from 3 supporting artists at Mountaintop Pub in Mountaintop, Justin Bravo and The Kind, at River Street Jazz Cafe in Plains, Tori V and The Karma with guest Kyle Demko, at the Keystone Stage in Oliphant, DFM, at the Scranton Cultural Center in Scranton, Guitar Mageddon, at the River Grill in Wilkes-Barre, Easy Boys, at Best Cigar Pub in Drums, Slightly Askew. On Saturday, the 25th, at the Keystone Stage in Oliphant, E57 with support from 2 bands, at Groove Brewing in Scranton, American Buffalo Ghost, at Tap at Humboldt, Cass and the Bailout Crew, at the River Street Jazz Cafe in Plains, Another Day Dawns with Portland Frank, at the Parkway in Nanticoke, Mellifluous, at Hogs Hollow in Berwick, Keystone Groove, at the Joint 53 in Pittston, Phyllis Hawkins Electric Trio, at Snappers in Factoryville, the Dishonest Fiddlers, at the Creative Compound in Honesdale, Kaylee Jackson, at the Stonehouse in Carbondale, Static in the Attic, and Rockology Music Academy in Wilkes-Barre is hosting their open mic on Sunday the 26th at the Stonehouse in Carbondale, Wade Preston. If you want your show featured on the next episode, go to thebigbreak.org/podcast and click the Submit Your Show button. That's all for this week. Make sure to head to a show, spread the word, and support independent artists.
Awesome job, Robin, as always. There's nothing to do here. Whatever, man. Get off your ass.
Yeah, I think it's honestly, I think with Northeast PA, it's not that for me. It's like the weather, if anything. There's stuff going on here for sure.
I mean, this winter, it's been mild.
Sure, I know.
We had like
winter.
a week of like, oh my God, I can't go outside without, everything freezing. But
like,
otherwise been...
I like to ski, so it's like, oh my God, I'd rather a nice winter and then a nice spring. But there is stuff going on. Karate's last night, Luke Tinklepaw and the boys played, like something to do almost every night.
Yeah.
I think it's just, it's not New York. Obviously, it's not like a big city where it's like bustling, but there is things to do.
Yeah, I think the thing about Northeastern PA is that the venues are like spread out. When I lived in Denver, you can like go a few blocks and there's another venue.
Right. It's just so condensed and there's so much going on that it's not that, but go move there if you're that, don't like.
Right. But I mean, the point is there is stuff to do. There is stuff to do.
100%.
And there's a bunch of us, us, the Big Break, right? But like any PA scene, all these different places are trying to give as much information as we can to the public so they can go out and do something. So do it, man. Just do it. Go out there. Right, Ray?
Yeah, sure.
Go out there.
There's so much. I mean, I try to book as many things as I can for, everyone to come to. And I even try to make it all ages. I even do like this, the 21 plus like BYOB. So like you can bring all your like beer and shit too and bring your kid. I mean,
right.
I don't
drinking
in front of your kid, but
well, it's an EPA, so So you also do some like wrestling or something? Is that what I heard?
I don't do wrestling. I love wrestling. So the videos that I lend Johnny, all deathmatch wrestling, like ECW type of stuff, and ever since I was like a younger age, I loved this type of wrestling because it just felt more raw, and then me watching just like WWE, and like the storylines weren't that great, and it was just like rather boring. Where I grew up more towards like the Attitude Era of wrestling, and like when Mankind,
The
doing
golden era.
yeah, like, well, I mean, I like that type of wrestling, and then I also really liked earlier WWF as well, when you had Bret Hart, you had Ultimate Warrior, there was and then like the debut of Undertaker. Like I loved all that stuff too, which Peacock is awesome because you can watch all of the old like wrestling matches and kind of just relive every episode. It's awesome.
Nice. So what's next for you? What can we expect? I know you've got the your band, right? Noskaratu. We've got the festival that you got the grant for.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously putting shows and stuff together. Do you have any shows that you want to talk about real quick?
Yeah, I actually have a few shows coming up. The one that you just saw on the screen before, E57's reunion. This might possibly be the last show they do. There's so many little treats in this show that no one knows about, and it's just going to be an awesome event to see. And then, of course, Days in Transit. It's awesome. I used to see them all the time at the Keys. And then I actually played with this exact lineup 4 years ago at the Keys. This exact same lineup I actually performed with at the Keys, which was awesome. So, I don't know, maybe don't make me do this show too, but I think this is going to be an awesome night. And then plus, like, it reminds me of like the Keys again. And then 2 weeks after that, I have Boston death metal band Averse coming to the Keystone. I also have my sister's band Wife Swamp on this. Newer doom metal band Purple Lung. They're from Wilkes-Barre. Super sick. If you haven't checked out their Bandcamp, highly recommend it, especially if you love doom metal. They're super, super sick. And then, of course, my friend Lewis, his band Hang In There, which is like a beatdown hardcore band, which I think would tie this show up a little bit, opening the show and everything. So I think this is going to be an insane lineup, especially for people that like, more of like the doom metal, death metal stuff. It's just going to be really, really cool. And if you haven't heard of Verse, go check them out. They're super, super sick. They're tight. Definitely really professional sounding, if you ask me.
Word.
And then after that, the week after that, I have Mosh Madness. And for people who don't know, it's just a play on words for March Madness.
Sweet.
Hence the best.
Kind of like Christ Chopper's a play on words.
Yeah, Christ Chopper's on this. They're super sick band, Power Violence, which I think really ties into this. And then I have all of these bands coming from out of state. So I have Silence Equals Death from New Jersey, Extinguish the Code, which is this hoodie right here. They're from New York City, like Bronx area. Faded Lines from New York City. Beast from the East is from New York City. And then Orlando Fruoso are coming all the way up from Washington, D.C. just to play this show, which is going to be insane. And then just because I'm someone who loves to see mixed lineups on shows, I think they just blend very well. I have Those Clever Foxes on it, who, if you haven't heard them, you need to check them out. They're awesome pop punk band. And from growing up, going to shows, I always got to see like pop punk bands or easy core bands or even like metalcore bands on all these mixed lineups. And so that's why I thought, it'd be awesome to see a pop punk band on a hardcore lineup again. So these shows are really cool because I always end up doing $5 before the first band, $10 afterwards, and plus there's 7 bands on this lineup. So I don't see a reason why not to show up for the first band, get your money's worth. That's obviously less than $1 per band if you show up for the first band. And then
that's a good deal.
It's and that's like the one thing. Like I want people to come into my shows. Like I can care less about making money on shows. Like that's not my whole thing. Like I know that there's a lot of people out there that want to make money on these types of shows, and honestly, I just want these shows to happen.
Right.
So for me to make them as cheap as I possibly can is basically my entire goal, because I want it to be where everybody can afford to go. Because right now, like just living in general is like trash. Like you can't like really live on a lot of things right now. And it's just, if I'm able to give like somebody like, a couple hours of, entertainment for like $5, then I'm willing to do that. I can care less about, making any money on shows. As long as bands are paid, that's all that matters to me.
Right. Same.
Very
and then like this next show that's happening the week after that, I have a benefit show for the Community Intervention Center in Scranton. So this is going to be a sober show, and I mixed it up with some, punk metal bands, as well as a few comedians on this lineup. And then actually this is hosted by me for the comedy sets anyway. And then once we get into the bands, they'll announce themselves. But I will be but the hosting of all the comedy sets, which I think this is going to be a great show as well.
I'm looking forward to this one. I'll definitely be going to that one.
This one is the only show that I'll do $10 on straight through, just because this is just going to a benefit, and
right.
I would like to see it all go to the sober house instead of it, half and half. But This is going to be something definitely special that I do.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
And then after that, in April, I have a deathcore and metalcore show, bringing it back to the roots of when I first started going to shows. I used to go to shows like this all the time, where it was just like very heavy bands. And, I just wanted to kind of bring it back. What's great about these bands, a lot of these bands are from this area. So Dead Hours from Wilkes-Barre, Aborrid's from Wilkes-Barre, Toothless is from Wilkes-Barre, and then Eastern Faults from Lehigh Valley. They're coming through. And then the one band on this that's like really special, they're an easy core metalcore band, Dinosaurs in Paris. They're coming 3 hours away just to play the show. Like they are from like outside of Hershey. So they, are coming in to play this one show 3 hours away, which is, crazy. And I really appreciate them doing that.
That's insane. That's awesome that they're driving out this far. I mean, it's good for them too, and honestly, Ray is so handsome.
Oh, thank you, Lewis. Lewis, that is the Lewis that is in the Hang In There band, actually.
Okay. Right on, Lewis. Oh yeah. Cool, dude. So any last plugs, as we wrap the show up?
Honestly, I definitely want to plug 570 Press. If you have music, send it through that way. I might be reviewing it, and if you want to play a show, let me know. Also, if you ever want to just hang out with me, talk to me and whatnot, just send me a message. But I will be at the NEPA Horror Film Fest at the Circle Drive-In on June 17th, so you can hang out with me there.
Nice.
Nice.
So one last thing before we go. Just a reminder to everyone out there that signups for season 4 of The Big Break are still open. So go on to thebigbreak.org/contest and check out the rules, regs, reach out for questions or anything like that. Please don't forget to, follow, like, share, do all of that awesome stuff that everybody is supposed to do. Ray, thank you so much for coming on to our show. It was awesome to talk to you. I'd love to have you back on later on, either in the year or next year.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks for coming on, Ray. I'll get you these DVDs this week.
Awesome. Thank you.
So Ray, you're welcome to stick around until after the show, and we can have a chat. In the meantime, everybody else, we're going to close up with one more song from Running in Flip Flops. You heard Do Be earlier in the segment, and now we're going to listen to Pickles.
Let's
All right.
go.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ray. John, love you, buddy. We'll see
everybody
next week.
Because I only say it once. I've had enough and ever seems to bring my spirit up. It's because the water running down the children's eyes, it never stops, and nobody ever is surprised. You see it's 10:30. You're in your bed, you push the thoughts away and slip into your head. But now and then something slithers in to permeate the grass. You must repent on having peace among the nervous. No one deserves it. They got the chains, they got the know-how. The devil's on the shoulder, connections at the top. They go down. It doesn't matter if you're always on your toes before you know it. All you'll have will be the same other clothes. Listen up, why the fuck I gotta say it more than once? I've had enough and everything to bring my spirit up. And it's because the water running down the children's eyes, it never stops. Nobody ever is surprised. Listen up, what the fuck? Don't put your body parts in pickle jars. Listen up, what the fuck? Don't put your body parts in pickle jars. The know-how, the devil's on the shoulder, connections at the top because they sold out. It doesn't matter if you're always on your toes before you know it. All you'll have will be the scent on the clothes. Listen up, why the fuck I gotta say it more than once? I've had enough and everything bring my spirit up. And it's because the water running down the children's eyes, it never stops. Nobody ever is surprised. Listen up, what the fuck? Don't put your body parts in pickles. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh.